Hello, this is the kind of the final look at this part of the robot head. Now, I've made several mistakes. I'm sure the more experienced people amongst us have realised the mistakes I've made, and they're cringing about the things I've said and done. Do you remember, this is new to me, and I think I've figured out what I've done wrong. If we look at my overall robot head here, it has this assembly, has all these parts to it. Now, unfortunately, what I've been doing as I'm going along, I've been making my parts from using that to make a new component. So I've kind of been making these all as within that one sub-assembly. So if I isolate that sub-assembly, it kind of leaves me with the telescreen. It leaves me with the lens. But because that lens and that telescreen are in the same thing, and that ceiling ring, that one there, they're kind of all showing together. Now, that's a little bit frustrating. Not that I think it's going to make that much of a difference to the actual way when I do my drawings, I hope anyway. But I think if I was adding materials, so for instance, like this telescreen here, I want to isolate it. So I've got it on its own because it's kind of now if I want to add in a physical material to it, now it's going to be glass, not gas, glass, and I'm going to make it frosted glass. So I'm going to click and drag that across onto there, and you can see that it goes up into my materials up here. Now this isn't about the appearance, this is about the actual physical material. So if I go into the ceiling ring this time and isolate the ceiling ring, I want to make that into some kind of rubber. So if I go into physical material this time and rubber, metal, miscellaneous, I think it'll be in there. Plastics, will it be in plastics? Rubber. Like that, I can see it jumps up into in this design thing, and I want to go into my lens. Now, see, the problem there is when I just isolate that lens, which I want to be that bit, I now also have this bit as well, which is irritating. Now, that lens, I'm going to put a description in. Cast and ground again, so when I'm doing my drawings I get the descriptions in. Now that's quite a nuisance if this had been a really important bit, but it's not really going to be seen, so I'm not overly fussed. Let's go in and change its physical material to glass frosted, but see, look, that's an issue, isn't it? The whole thing changes. Anyway, I think I can actually save that individual piece out as a separate piece if I wanted to. I could save it as an individual part, and I could actually reassemble it if it had that much of an issue. So the real issue for this is, I should have been going back to the initial robot head and making the components from there. Then I would have a nice list of left head, lens holder, all down here as separate bits of this, rather than, within like these assemblies. It would give me more freedom to change things. The real issue I have is when I look at the head. So I have this kind of right head and I have this left head. But if I isolate, let's take away the right head, I've got just the right head. But when I go into the left head and I isolate the left head, I've got two bits of head there. Yeah? So I've got the left and the right bit. So that is a little bit untidy. Now if I go into the bodies here, it is only one. It shows me as having that body as being that side, but I still have this other head in here. Now, if I look down here, I can see that if I was to roll this back, let's see where I split it. I split it at that point there. So from there, I have made the body into another component, and I would lose. Let's have a little look. So I'm going to have to see if I can get rid of this part of the head, whether I have to make this into another component and then delete that bit. I don't know. I'm going to have to sit and have a little play around with that. Now, nobody wants to watch me do that, but that is how I would do the head. But instead of making them from the other piece, I would make them from the top, the first component that I brought in, and hopefully that would fix the problem. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm going to go and render this now, and I'll put another video up about that. Thank you.